Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to give a very strong thank you to our practicing professional witnesses here today for your strong, positive commitments to educating the young people in your purview. I think it comes across very, very strongly that you care, that you understand the subjects, and that you're really committed to serving the children that you serve. So I just, it's so refreshing. It's not refreshing, it's great to hear it. I hear it a lot when I'm at home from people in your same positions. So I know there's a lot of good going on in education in this country, and it's the good that's going on is being done by people like you. And so I appreciate you very much. Dr. Schuler, I want to ask about the foster care regulations you raised in your testimony. I know Dr. King said the department has also released guidance on that subject just this morning. Could you talk more specifically about the current process between school districts and child welfare agencies and what impact that the department's proposal would have on you?
Yeah, so thank you for that question, and I have not obviously had a chance to see what came out this morning, but right now what happens is we sit down with the child welfare agency and we engage in a conversation about how can we best serve the needs of that child. The concern with this regulation is it really precludes the child welfare agencies from being compelled to participate in that conversation. Because at the end of the day, if they don't support, we are going to have to come up with the money. And, you know, I think back to my first superintendency outside of Madison, and I had a student homeless under McKinney-Vento, very appropriate. We had to provide transportation. I was in a very, very small district outside of Madison. The student's home district was Milwaukee. I paid every day for a student to be transported over an hour and 15 minutes one way, back and forth. And in that district where I had 80 teachers at the end of the year, that total cost was over a teacher. And so I'm very concerned about the impact that this proposed regulation could have, especially on brothers and sisters, colleagues of ours in small rural districts.
Well, thank you very much for that response. Dr. Pruitt, in your written testimony, you talked about the restriction the department is proposing to place on state flexibility to define, quote, consistently underperforming, close quote. I think it's pretty clear you had been talking about this already in the state of Kentucky, but would you expand on that just a little bit?
Absolutely. As some of my colleagues here have even already mentioned, the fact that we have been so focused on math and reading for such a long time, and not to say that we still shouldn't be, but at the same time, there are other factors that are equally as important. For me, personally, and I think we are hearing this more and more in our state, it's the issue of opportunity. So for us, when we look at our persistently low-scoring schools, yes, we need to look at their math and reading score, but we also need to see what they're offering. The days of offering Algebra 1 Light, and Algebra 1 Low Carb need to end. We need to actually start guaranteeing every kid is getting the education that they need, and that every kid is actually getting a level of expectation that that will only serve to help them be successful. So for us, I want us to be able to really have an open playbook where we can say, you know, your kids are doing horribly in achievement. But I think that we're going to find some that actually might do decent in achievement, but they're doing horrible in what they're offering, especially our underserved populations. So I want to have more of that latitude that we can really take a good hard look at that school behavior that I mentioned earlier and guarantee that every kid is getting the offering of the high expectation education that they deserve.
Thank you very much. For anybody who's taught, we all know that it's so important to teach at the level that the students are able to perform, or at least, I mean, that's what we understand. And Ms. Harrelson, I want to make a particular thank you to you for being a math teacher. Every time I meet great math teachers, I say, you're worth your weight in gold. We need a lot more of you in the school. So thank you for doing that, as well as having such a well-rounded perspective. I yield back.
I thank the gentlelady and associate with her remarks. Ms. Bonamici, you're recognized for 5 minutes.